Hi, and welcome to... This is when you stumble in the first sentence. That's a good sign.
Welcome to Travel Matters, the official podcast of TBEX. Here are your hosts, the radio vagabond Palibo and TBEX CEO Rick Calvert.
Hi, and welcome to Travel Matters. My name is Palibo, and as always, I have Rick Calvert with me, not physically, but still in San Diego and still fairly close to each other.
It's good to talk to you again, Pally.
Yeah, and that fish taco, that was so great.
I told you.
Yeah.
And it was great company as well with our friends Greg and Maria Haas, with Maria Abroad and Europe Up Close. And I think she just launched India Up Close blogs that she has.
Yeah, it was nice to be nerdy with the fish taco. Yeah.
And the view is good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was amazing. Amazing. Yeah. I really like San Diego. I promised that I'll say some more about your hometown, but now I've been here a while and I really enjoy San Diego, and I'm definitely coming back. I can see that I've heard people say that this is the Cape Town of US, and I can see the reason why, because Cape Town is one of my favorite cities in the world, and San Diego's also got that laid back vibe to it. So yeah, I enjoy being here.
I've heard Cape Town described as the San Diego of Africa.
Anyway, we've got an exciting episode this week. We have a chat to Mario Bucalo. Mario Bucalo. Yeah, and he's so Italian, and I love his dialect, and he's a great guy, and he's obviously working with you guys on TBEX Europe in Catania.
Yeah, Mario is from Catania, and actually my first conversation with him was in Dublin, in TBEX Ireland in 2013, when he told me that we had to do TBEX in Sicily, in Catania. Mm-hmm. And he's been working on this for 6 years now to make this happen.
Yeah. And I met him at Billings, Montana, and I had a short chat with him about what we can expect when we get to Catania. So if you're considering going to TBEX Europe, you should absolutely stick around and listen to what Mario has to say about this stunning place that we're going to.
So yeah, Mario introduced us to this video of a band in Catania that wrote this great song about Catania, and they say Catania like 1,000 times in this song. And he played the video at the keynote in Billings with translation in English, subtitled.
Yeah, can you please tell me what it is that they're singing?
I don't remember the words, but I remember the words were totally inappropriate in English.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing is how much these guys love Catania, and that is, I think, one of the special things about this place.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, places that are special like this, the people who live there, like me in San Diego, love them. Mm-hmm. Like, die hard love their town.
And the interview with Mario will come at the end of this episode. But first, we met two amazing bloggers. It's Keith and Tina Paul, and they were also some of the speakers at TBEX Billings, Montana.
Yeah, Keith and Tina gave a talk, how we achieved 1 million blog visitors in 7 months. Now, I have not met them before. They had been to TBEX before as attendees. And when they submitted this idea, Tim told me about it, and I was like, well, the title has me at hello, right? So let's do a little research and look into it. They have a great story if you look at their About page on their blog, Retire Early and Travel.
Yeah.
They've been together since they were 18 years old, and they're now retired.
Which in itself is quite unusual.
A great story.
Yeah, yeah.
But they were hugely successful professionals in their careers And they both had this passion for travel. And they had done a trip, and you'll hear them talk about this a little bit in the interview. I don't want to get too much into it, but they did a trip abroad and said, we love this so much. If we go back and, work the numbers, we maybe could retire early and live here. And that's exactly what they did. They also started their blog. They had some, experience with IT and that sort of thing, Keith in particular. And they got over 1 million visitors in 7 months. And their talk, needless to say, was one of the busiest of the show, jam-packed room. But again, on their site, you can see brands they worked with: Travel Oregon, Visit Seattle, Rocky Mountaineer, Czech Tourism, Dusseldorf, Falch Ireland, Prince Edward Island, Boston, Expedia, Ancestry DNA. It just goes on and on and on. Brands that they've worked with already. And their blog is 3 years old.
Yeah, it's just really, really impressive. Yeah, and it gives hope for someone like me who's past the 50-year mark that you don't necessarily have to be super young and to be successful in this business.
Great, really important points. So number one, you didn't have to do this at the beginning. You didn't have to have a blog 10 years ago to be successful. You could start today, and we see people at TBEX do this all the time. You also do not have to be, 18 years old or 25 years old. You could be old like me and you are now. Mm-hmm. And you can be successful at this. If you are professional, you work hard, you write great content.
Exactly.
And that's what Keith and Tina Paul talk a bit about in this interview that we did with them.
And now it's time for Creator of the Month.
So we're here with our guest, Keith and Tina Paul from Retire Early and Travel. Did I say that right?
Perfect.
Yes, you did.
Excellent. You guys gave a talk today about how you got 1 million followers in 6 months?
7 months.
Yeah.
7 months.
1 million visitors to our website in 7 months.
Yes.
Okay, so when did this happen? How long ago did you launch the blog and get 1 million visitors in 7 months? Was it 7 months ago?
No.
No, we've hit 24 million now.
Yeah.
Wow.
2016?
Yeah, January of 2016 is when we started it, and by the end of July we hit our 1 millionth visitor.
Was that your first blog ever?
I was a naturopathic doctor, and I had a blog that went to my website. It was very small, not a lot of followers. And I wrote a couple of newspaper columns for local papers. But again, it was about natural health.
But you had some writing experience.
Yes.
Little. Yeah.
And you had some blogging experience.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And Keith, what about you?
Yeah, well, I was Chief Technology Officer for all my civilian career, I guess.
So you're the geek.
I'm the geek.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I was the geek, and so I knew all about...
Being a geek is okay here, by the way.
Okay. I actually had a lot of geeks working for me, so... but I still knew how to do everything. So, yeah, I do all the tech and the SEO and all that was my forte.
So
I also wrote, though, too.
Okay, and you both obviously contribute to the blog.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So how did you guys come up with this idea? Were you just ready to retire and said, well, we might as well blog about it? Or was it a plan? Was it an accident? How did it happen?
Well, we decided to retire early after going on a vacation to Guatemala, and we met some expats.
And we didn't know what expats were until we
No.
met them.
Yeah.
And they said, what?
Yeah, and we found out that we could live someplace other than the United States on probably maybe 50% or 25% of what it costs to live in the U.S.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so we came back, and he did the math.
I did the math right away. I said, you know what? I said, we could retire now if we moved to another country at 25% the cost of the living of the United States.
And we decided, well, let's start a blog. If nothing else.
Yeah, we also did some research first.
Oh, yeah.
We did research and said, okay, Cuenca, or Ecuador, is like the number one place 3 years in a row voted by International Living Magazine of where you can retire early.
And we made a checklist of the place, what we would want. We wanted a walkable city. We wanted some place that was cool and dry or nice and dry. Cuenca doesn't have heat or air conditioning, even in the only 5-star hotel we have.
Yeah, it's like 70 degrees year-round.
Yeah.
So
we could bring our dogs there without having to put them in quarantine.
Yeah, so we went and visited.
Yeah, we liked it.
And I put in 7 months' notice to my job.
He was the chief technology officer for USC and Keck Hospital.
Yeah, and then so we're sitting around and we're thinking, okay, now we're going to retire. What are we going to do with our lives and all these fun things? And
we knew we wanted to travel.
And we said maybe we could travel more than we could afford if we started a travel blog.
Right.
And it became popular.
Right.
So just to make sure I have the timeline right, you guys moved first and then started the blog, or do they kind of go hand in hand?
They kind of went hand in hand. Learning about being an expat, that happened in 2015.
Yep.
We make decisions quick once we decide on something.
But before we moved, we had already picked a name. We said, we did the searching for it and kind of said, is this going to be good SEO? Are people going to get it, retire early and travel? The name was available, so we literally bought the name before we moved.
So that's not typical. You guys thought about SEO before you even launched the blog.
Yes.
We looked to see if people put those 3 words in a search engine, and they do. Retire, early, travel.
Very good.
Yeah. So we started it, and but we didn't really start writing until actually after we moved to Ecuador.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you moved to Ecuador, you launched the blog, and in 7 months you have 1 million visitors.
That's right.
That's right.
So how did you do that?
Well, we had to get...
I know you gave a whole talk on this.
Yeah, but
not to do an hour, but do the very short version,
Sure.
and then we'll put a link up to your talk because we videoed that today. So for people listening to this and are interested in the whole talk and see your slides and all that, we'll put up a link and they can go see that.
There was 2 things. You need content, so we had to get content on the website quickly, and like we said in the talk. To do local travel first. Since we just moved to Cuenca, we had all this local travel we could do in and around Cuenca. So we wrote all about that.
And then we had just been to Guatemala, to Antigua, so we did a post about Antigua. Now, when we first moved to Ecuador, we were only allowed to be out of the country 90 days each of the first 2 years.
To maintain your residency visa.
Yeah.
You had to stay in Ecuador, and you can only travel outside 90 days out of the year.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
For the first 2 years.
But I think our biggest trip after we moved there was to Machu Picchu.
1 minute left.
Okay.
And so we did that on our own dime. We didn't work with anybody, but we have a pretty good post.
Yeah. So now we have some content. Now we told people in our talk, you got to get the word out who you are. So how do you do that? And we did it. Our biggest driver was social media to our website at first, not SEO. And we post, some people will tell you to concentrate on 1 or 2 platforms of social media. We did the opposite. We posted on every social media platform there is.
I think at the beginning, though, Pinterest was really the biggest driver of traffic for us.
We
It's
hear it
another
over
search
and
engine.
over again.
Yeah,
But
that
it's
really
not
did.
now.
It's not now, but it
But
was.
I think when you first start, you have to do Pinterest.
Yeah, and but we did everything like VK. You probably not heard VK, but VK is the Russian and European Facebook.
So when you say everything, you mean everything.
Oh, everything.
Oh, everything.
LinkedIn, VK, OK.ru,
Medium.
Mix, Flickr, Digo,
Tumblr.
So,
and then all the normal ones.
yeah, so we did everything, and every little bit of traffic helped us, and then people share, and it gets a little bit more, and so that's kind of how we got all that traffic to us so quickly.
And we told everybody what we're doing. At first, he would make fun of me because we go to a restaurant and I'm giving the waitress our business card and saying, "Go check us out. We're travel bloggers." The Uber drivers.
So
when
you
we
were
get to a new
shamelessly promoting
Oh, my God.
every person you met.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sometimes it was embarrassing, but
Yes.
and then we also had patches made for our jackets and our bags that said "Retire Early and Travel." And you wouldn't believe how many people would read that and say, "Oh, that's what I want to do." And then we talk, and then next thing you know, you're talking up, and they're going to our blog and looking at us and following us, and
Yeah.
So 24 million followers later, who's laughing now?
That's right. So it's all about just promoting ourselves.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
We only do things that are fun now.
Because we're retired.
Okay, so now you said you've got 24 million visitors. That's total, or that's annual, or what?
That's total.
Okay.
So we get...
So in a couple of years, though, that's
Oh, my God, yeah.
over 10 million visitors a year.
Yeah, so the first million visitors was over 7 months, but since then we've exponentially increased. So our blog's been in existence for 3 years, and 24 million, on average, that's 8 million a year. So it really exponentially picked up.
And now SEO is the number one driver of your traffic?
No, it is not. It is probably represents about 40%.
Okay.
Still 60% comes from social media.
And Twitter right now.
Now Twitter, it fluctuates between Twitter and Facebook. Right now it's Twitter.
Okay.
That gives us a lot.
So, okay, you got a bunch of traffic. Are you monetizing the traffic? Are you making money? And how are you doing that? Are you doing affiliate marketing, display advertising, sponsorship, brand ambassadors?
So we probably don't do the best at it, but we want a good user. We want a good user experience, so we don't have pop-up ads in that. So we have a little bit of AdSense, and then we have 2 reoccurring customers who advertise with us with banner ads. We do that, and then I do affiliate advertising also with only things that we use or have used that we promote. So it's very, we don't just promote anything. We have to be very happy with it.
And we've had some sponsored posts.
And we have sponsored posts.
They want to, they say, give us the next 4 or 5 titles that you have coming out, and we'll pick one and we'll sponsor it.
Yeah. So yes, we're making money. But most of let me tell you this, most of it is trade and travel. That's really where we go.
High-end travel.
Yeah, we did 20 countries last year, and 95% of that whole trip was covered by our sponsors.
Right. So are you guys looking at next phase of the development of your site is to monetize it more, or you're happy with where you're at right now?
Oh, no, we would like to monetize it more. We are. And we're talking to somebody about doing speaking. So...
Yeah.
So, some basic advice you already gave, and obviously, again, you gave this whole talk, was to just promote it everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got to have a good website, too. So, having a fast site, that's something I said. Your site has to be fast and mobile friendly. Those are 2 very, very important things.
We didn't touch on that before. Mobile friendly.
Mobile friendly. You have to be. I went all the way, and my site is AMP ready. So that's accelerated mobile pages. You look at the research, 50-50 right now. People say it helps them, it doesn't help them in the rankings. I'm going with it helps me. If anything, it makes your site fast, and a good user experience is what Google wants. If you go to Google Page Speed, put in my AMP page, my page registers 100.
Yeah, site speed obviously is very important for
and AMP pages
search
give you the speed. So and speed is a good user experience, and that's what Google wants.
So you said it's an AMP page. Can you explain that a little? I know you said accelerated mobile performance, but explain that a little bit more. What I have to do to make my site do that? Yeah,
so there's a plugin. There's a couple good plugins you can get that you add to your site, and it will convert your pages to AMP. Not all your pages, depending on what you do on them, convert well. So you may have to give an alternate page for that AMP. And it lets you do that real easy. But AMP basically restricts what you can show on a mobile device. And everything that they pick is stuff that's fast and speedy. Very little JavaScript. You can't have rotating graphics and all that fanciness. Nobody wants that, though. If you look at a mobile site, it's all straight line stuff. I do a lot of graphics, so I converted a lot of my stuff to just basic, strict graphics. Makes it super speedy and very user-friendly.
Very interesting.
So yeah, that's I highly recommend that.
Anything else that you guys...
I'm sorry, my AMP page loads in 0.2 seconds.
Wow.
0.2 of a second.
Oh, and the other thing I was going to ask, so you said it's got to be mobile friendly, so your audience are retirees, or at least close to retirees, right? Or
surprisingly not.
No.
Our Google Analytics will tell you 25 to 45 is our major audience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you got to remember, these millennials and Gen X's, they don't want to work till they're retired.
They think retiring early is 25.
There you go. They don't want to work. They don't want to
know how they can work, make some good money, but work as few years as possible and retire.
So despite the name, it's not retirees that come to our site. It's early retirees.
And we're early. We're really not retirement age yet.
No, we're only 55. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys are definitely young.
No.
So, any other final words, advice you would give to a new blogger starting out, or even a blogger who maybe is struggling, so they can take it to the next level?
2 things. One, I'd say, you got to have a fast site. If it's not fast, don't worry about taking the time to redo it. I've redone my site twice now, completely redid it. It's not really hard. I would suggest redo it. If you're a new blogger, I would say do the things that we talked about, do them right at the beginning. Learn SEO, do the social media, do it right from the beginning.
And you can always pay somebody, even if it's Fiverr or whatever, to help you with some of the things. Some of the people were saying in our talk today, I'm just one person, I can't do all of this. Well, then have some Pinterest templates made up for you. Get somebody to help you with the blog. You can get people in other countries. It's not expensive, and it can be money well spent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Keith and Tina, Paul, thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you for being here at TBEX this week.
Thanks, Rick. We love TBEX.
Yeah, thanks, Rick.
This is our 4th.
Thank you for sharing travel matters with your friends and followers on social media. You're the best.
So that was Keith and Tina Paul, and the website is retireearlyandtravel.com, and we will also obviously put a link in the show notes for their blog. Have a look at what it is that they do. On their About page, they also write that they're also lovers of wine, which makes me want to hang out with them. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I will probably meet them and a lot of other people from TBEX, both in Europe and in North America, in the next coming days at WTM in London. I'm flying out of here tomorrow and going to London for WTM and hopefully get some good connections with some brands.
And maybe we should mention for some people who aren't familiar with WTM, World Travel Market, is one of the biggest industry events in travel. So it's really meant for tour operators, destinations, travel brands to meet with buyers.
Yeah. I was there for the first time last year, and I was blown away how big it is. It's just huge.
So WTM would be a big one, and the other one is ITB Berlin.
Yeah, and ITB Berlin, I also went to that one, and that was even bigger.
Exponentially bigger.
Oh my God, it's big. And the cool thing about TBEX Europe is that it's shortly after ITB. So when people are in Europe anyway, go to both.
Yes, I highly recommend if you're going to come to TBEX in Europe, go to ITB Berlin first, especially if you've never been, because one of the things you'll understand as a content creator, if you haven't been to these things before, is just how massive the travel industry is.
Yeah, exactly.
And how much money there is in this industry.
Yeah.
And how big these budgets are. And so when a DMO tells you they have no money, it's a relative term.
Yeah. And I'm going to be at WTM, and you're also going to London. You have some other stuff going on, but you might show up as well.
I might be there. I'm still working on those plans, but you will see me at IBTM, another one of these conferences in Barcelona, about 2 weeks after WTM.
Okay, so you're in Europe for a while?
Yes, I'm there for at least a week, maybe more.
But anyway, I will bring my microphone. So if you would like to be featured here on Travel Matters, drop us a line and we'll try to set something up, either with the both of us or just one of us. So let's try to do that. Just shoot us an email, and we will put emails in the show notes, so you know where to find us.
Excellent. Hopefully we'll see I'm sure that we will see some of our friends there.
Oh yeah.
And we can interview a few of them.
Now the Catania song is creeping up behind us again, because it's time for the chat with Mario. We'll get to learn some more about what kind of place Catania is.
I know they're saying some of the words are like, I love Catania, Catania's a beautiful woman, something like that. It's just, but such a pretty song.
It is. Now, Mario, can you explain what we can expect? What kind of place is Catania?
Catania is a planet itself. It's a place where you can find fantastic food, a place where you can find culture, history, Baroque architecture. Catania is a city that was rebuilt seven times. You can find big lava flow in historic in Catania. You can find medieval castle. The unique Grecian and Roman theater is a theater that's Roman built over the Grecian theater. There are the remain part of the biggest Roman amphitheater in the Mediterranean area. There are a very antique university. There are a lot of historical building, a fantastic opera house, fantastic palace made from nobles at the time, where there was the first museum in Europe. It's a lot of history, and all the surrounding area, the metropolitan area of Catania, offer a lot of things to visit, from Caltagirone to Cireale to Cicastello, a lot of things to visit, and of course the main part is from air. We call air, that is Mount Etna, that is a volcano, so normally is in a male format, but we call the air a montagna.
Okay, because that's something that when you think of Sicily, you think of maybe two things, the volcano and the mafia. And I have a feeling that both things are not dangerous right now.
No, it's now we have the mafia, unfortunately, is under control for what that is possible, but it's not more tragic as 20-25 years ago. It's and volcano is not absolutely dangerous. In fact, when the Mount Etna is calm, it's possible to climb till over to the crater and face over the crater. That is fantastic. Oh, wow. And when is an eruption, it's a fantastic show. So a lot of people find that it can be dangerous, but it's far from Catania. In the past, 300 years ago, the lava arrived in Catania, but very, very slowly. But it's a very, very fantastic show of lava fontaine all over the crater, and it's like a background, red background of the city. It's fantastic. It's very, very scenographic.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that there was still something going on.
Yes, it's erupted before yesterday for a few hours. Now, in this period of some, we call it a tourist eruption, erupt for a few hours or one day, one night, and after come down, and it's good in any case. Sometimes for the airport, because there are the ash around, and they close the airport for a few hours. But it's a fantastic show.
So when we're coming, we can expect some amazing adventures before and after, some fam trips and stuff like that.
The city of Catania, the metropolitan area, and the Sicilian region still working to create a very wonderful experience. Probably there are too much things to do than what is possible, because there are a lot of things. Visit in Catania, visit around Catania. There are a lot of things really where there are fantastic things to do. So we just working to have the best experience pre and post the event, but also during the event, because for the party we want to have really great food during the party. So also we hope that during the coffee break we can have orange juice just squeeze on real time in front of people. So it's we try to have the experience full every minute.
Yeah. How is that part of Italy, the southern part and Sicily in particular, how is that different than the whole Tuscany area and down to Rome? What makes it so unique, other than the things that you already mentioned?
The things that Sicily have a lot of domination. We have a lot of domination in the past. We have Arab, Norman, Phoenix. We have Grecian. We have Roman. A lot of domination in the history, so make us a mix of culture, a mix of race, a mix of religion, and a mix of volcanic mind. So we are so spontaneous. We know how to communicate with the people. We are very sense of hospitality. if people don't speak English, it's not difficult to understand with the sign language or other.
You guys speak with the hands.
Yeah, we have a lot of creativity and a lot of domination because Arab and some other doesn't go up. So we have more domination, and we have the Baroque style that's in Italy there is only in Lecce. So we are literally the full, also including the island. We have the volcano again. We have more than one volcano. We have the Etna. Yeah. We have the Stromboli, that is another active volcano. So we are two volcano in Sicily.
Wow.
Two volcanoes.
Thank you so much, Maria. I'm looking forward to coming.
Thank you.
And that's it for this episode. Rick, it's been good to seeing you here in San Diego, and hopefully I'll see you in a few days in London.
We'll see each other on the other side of the pond.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
This episode of Travel Matters was hosted by TBEX CEO Rick Calvert and Radio Vagabond Palabo, and produced by radioguru.co.uk.